Right, guys, welcome back to another video. We have some interesting notes here for the Xbox Activision and Blizzard acquisition, specifically CMA and cloud gaming assessment. So we know that the deal was blocked by the CMA because of cloud gaming. They believe that it's a nascent growing market and they didn't want Xbox in there destroying that with this merger. They wanted all these companies to still be able to grow. But we have some interesting information here that kind of gives us some numbers that doesn't make any sense, especially if the CMA used these numbers as a reason to block this deal. So it says more info on the CMA's cloud gaming assessment. One third party, possibly Google, Amazon, or even Sony, submitted an independent analyst report that estimated revenues generated from cloud services. And they had PS Now, who was in the lead in 2021, and xCloud had made less than 50 million. It says one third party's internal document contained a third party analyst report from March 2022, which showed 2021 shares of supply for cloud gaming services in terms of revenue. It showed that PlayStation Now had a share of more than percentage in 2021, with xCloud, Nvidia, GeForce Now, and Luna significantly smaller. The same report contains estimates for the future of the cloud gaming market as a whole. It estimated that revenue would increase by almost 300% from 2021 to 2026. You could see it increasing a decent amount in these next couple of years as the internet gets better, more widely available, stronger internet, more widely available, more people will be playing games via cloud gaming. So it says here increasing from less than 0.4 billion to 1.05 billion USD. Within this, xCloud's revenue was expected to increase from under 50 million to 450 million USD in the same period, estimated to be the largest cloud gaming service by revenue in 2026. Whilst we place less weight on independent reports than on the data that we gather from third parties, we note that the report does corroborate our own findings regarding the growth of xCloud. Our shares of supply may not be a good proxy for the future state of the cloud gaming market given the caveats in the methodology and the nascent nature of cloud gaming. However, we consider that these shares provide a useful indication of the current strength of different cloud gaming providers. Now, there's a couple of interesting things here, I think, to take away from this. They believe that Microsoft by 2026 is going to have grown to 450 million USD in terms of cloud gaming, which in general is not that massive of a number in the entirety of the video game market, especially the fact that they are purchasing Activision Blizzard for $70 billion to get a return of 450 million from cloud gaming. It's not that much, right? And that was one of the main reasons that they blocked this deal, was they said that it was going to be too big. It was going to hurt competition. It wasn't going to let other smaller companies be able to grow, even though they offered those 10-year deals to all of these cloud gaming platforms. Even after the deal got blocked, they're still offering the deals. For example, they just offered it to Anywhere the other day. And these are all bring your own game services. So gamers could purchase these games on Steam or wherever and then play them via all of these smaller cloud gaming services. Microsoft would provide that license. One of the things that Microsoft did also mention before the deal got blocked was that they would provide a worldwide license free of charge to anybody who wanted these Activision Blizzard games. So that clearly obviously wasn't enough before the CMA decided to block this deal. And it also shows here that the PS Now had a bigger share of this pie in 2021 before xCloud came in, improved on the service, competed, made it better, and then grew, and it is going to be growing bigger. Now you can say they're only growing bigger because they've made purchases, but I would absolutely disagree with that. Xbox Cloud Gaming and xCloud, whatever you want to call it, came in after PlayStation Now and made cloud gaming services just a much better value on the Xbox platform, which is why it's gotten bigger and it's outgrowing PlayStation Now, which is defunct now because it's all into PlayStation Plus. But that's why, I mean, we even saw Google come in, try to compete, a company almost as big, right, as Microsoft, and they couldn't compete. They had to shut down Google Stadia. They didn't know how to run the gaming division properly for Google Stadia. They just weren't able to provide that same value that Xbox has been providing. And it isn't just because they've gone out and purchased all of these studios. It's because they have offered a much better service than any of the competition out there, where these competitors, if they were wanting to actually compete, they would try to match what Xbox is offering in cloud gaming. And PlayStation would be able to do that just even with their first party games if they decided to put those in, but they don't want to put those in. They don't want to be forced to do that because of Xbox growing and getting better in cloud gaming. Now, there's some other interesting points here. He says, to put this into perspective, PwC Management Consultants estimates that the global games market is to generate $321.1 billion by 2026, which is just like, it really shows you how small of amount 450 million would be in 2026 compared to the entire global games market. And the CMA decided that that small amount across the entire global games market was enough to go ahead and block this deal. It says, based on this, we can plug in the estimated cloud market revenues for 2026 against the estimated total video game industry revenues for the same period. And cloud gaming will have grown slightly in 5 years to represent 0.327% of the video games market. Now, again, this is just an analyst, a consulting company. These numbers aren't exact, right? They're estimating based off of the information they have, but still, based off of this, which was a report submitted to the CMA, 0.327% of the video game market will be cloud gaming, which was enough for the CMA to go ahead and use that as a reason to block this deal. It says the data reinforces the fact that cloud gaming isn't necessarily a revenue-driven market and instead leans towards providing additive value to existing offerings, products, services, and ecosystems. It's no wonder Stadia failed. People just aren't spending enough on cloud. The fact that cloud gaming subscriptions apparently do not drive much revenue also gives context to the 10-year deals that Microsoft has signed, which likely includes lucrative payment incentives to help offset low revenues generated from these services themselves. Big reminder that this data is estimated, and we often see sometimes sizable discrepancies between analyst numbers. There's no exact science to collecting this kind of broad globe spanning information. So, I mean, there you have it. It really seems like the CMA just fully did not understand the gaming market whatsoever, especially the cloud gaming market. Because if these numbers come anywhere close to being true, even if it's off by a couple of percentage points, like it's still going to represent such a small percentage of the video game market by 2026, and it will continue to be a small percentage for years after that. But for the CMA, it was enough for them to say that it will be hindrance on competition in the UK, and they don't want that to be affected whatsoever. So they're going to go ahead and block the deal. But I will leave the video there, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.